Ian, let's begin with Russell Wilson. Had the surgery on his finger, but was at practice this week, not participating. What's the latest on his prognosis?
Yeah, Russell Wilson was at practice, on the field, in his jersey, everything except doing what he used to do, which is actually practice football, but still kind of a cool thing for one of the team's leaders to be back out there with the guys and really helping Geno Smith prepare. And that was one of the messages from Coach Pete Carroll, is that Russell Wilson knows his job right now, and it is not to play. It's to make sure that his backup quarterback, Geno Smith, who really did acquit himself extremely well, to make sure that Geno was prepared, and by Russell being on the field, it goes toward that. Now, they haven't officially placed him on IR yet. I would expect that to come later in the week. Carroll said they are taking their time. They want to make sure that the timeline is the timeline, and they do have several more days to do that. A couple injuries from the Dallas Cowboys to keep track of. First of all, Trevon Diggs, who really has become a potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate with, I believe, 36 interceptions so far this season. That might not actually be the number.
Unconfirmed.
He had a little bit of an ankle injury, didn't practice yesterday, should be okay. Something to more monitor than worry about, but he should be fine, as emerged as one of the Cowboys' best defensive players. And then Zeke Elliott, who took kind of that weird hit on the pylon, bruised his ribs. He was limited at practice yesterday. Zeke said he's basically going to be in the hot tub, probably because that's enjoyable, but also because it helps loosen up his ribs. He should also be good to go. And I want to note here, when asked specifically about his ribs, Zeke said he doesn't like pork ribs. He deals more with beef ribs, which fundamentally I actually kind of agree with, because the true test of a barbecue place is really how good are their beef ribs.
Giants quarterback Daniel Jones still in the concussion protocol, but he was back on the field at the start of practice, taking first-team reps today. Non-contact work is always the next step here in the process. So Coach Joe Judge has said that he is progressing as well in the right direction at this point. Status could potentially, though, be up in the air into the weekend, just because you have to check all those boxes. If no Jones, it would be Mike Glennon, but it certainly looks right now like Jones' chances are good, Rhett.
Meanwhile, for the New England Patriots, their starting running back, Damian Harris, is dealing with a rib issue. I was told he is more day-to-day than anything else. They looked at him for some internal injuries after the game. He checked out fine, so he should be headed in the right direction. He also is at practice today after missing yesterday. More good news for the Patriots, who believe and hope that their starting running back is going to be out there on Sunday.
Some notable players that are limited or not practicing today for the Chiefs. Talking about Tyreek Hill, talking about Chris Jones. What does this tell us about their status for this week?
All right, let's start with Tyreek Hill. He's got a quad injury, not going to practice today. This was described to me as more day-to-day than anything else. Did not seem like a major injury. If that is the case, then he should be good to go for Sunday, but we will obviously continue monitoring this one. Chris Jones dealing with a wrist injury, didn't practice last week. Also didn't practice today. Not a great sign. We'll see if he's able to get out there tomorrow. And then Jaron Reed, who was dealing with a personal issue, he's back at practice.
And London Bureau Chief Greg Rosenthal here with Bucky Brooks.
I got to go on another network to actually get on TV there. But yeah,
there it is. Yeah. Wow. So the Sky Sports correspondent, Greg Rosenthal. See, Bucky, here's the deal. We usually talk about Greg's picks and how he did the following week. He just decided to skip town. Didn't want to talk about how well he did.
My picks were good last week, 12-4. Check it out online, NFL.com/gamepicks.
There it is. Okay, let's start this week here. We're going to get your pick, and we're going to get Bucky to chime in here. Let's start with the Bucs and Eagles Thursday night. We are about 7 hours away from kickoff. What do you got tonight?
I got the Eagles losing this game by 8 points. It's like we've kind of seen it before. This Eagles defense, who's got some playmakers, going up against one of the top offenses in the league. We saw it, of course, against the Cowboys. We saw it against the Chiefs. And it's funny to me that so much focus has been on Jalen Hurts after each of these games. This isn't the recipe. The recipe is not Jalen Hurts trying to keep up with Dak, Mahomes, and now Tom Brady. The recipe should be a little bit more of the running game. Right. They are one of the most effective teams running the ball in the league, and yet they are one of the teams that runs the ball the least. Usually Bucky Brooks is they need to run the ball more guy. I'm turning into Bucky Brooks. They need to run the ball more guy.
Pound the rock, Buck.
Hey, look, they do need to use Miles Sanders. When Miles Sanders gets the rocks, good things happens for the Eagles. This is a game where they need to play keep away. So I'm with Greg. 8 points is about a reasonable margin. It's going to be tough for the Philadelphia Eagles to run with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep, number 1 rush defense in football, but with the quarterback run game, perhaps that poses a different
surprise
wrinkle.
them. The element of surprise. A little more Jalen Hurts integrated.
Okay, I'm into it. Let's move on to the second game of the International Series this year. Back to London. It's the Dolphins and the Jaguars. What do you got here?
Yeah, I love this international series. Yeah. The Dolphins win this game by a touchdown. But at some point, you look at the records of the teams traveling over there. The London crowd's going to start taking it personally. Let's go, NFL. Let's send some winning teams over there because the crowd, it's like a Super Bowl atmosphere there at Tottenham Stadium. It is one of the best atmospheres I've ever seen. But this is the week where I think Brian Flores' defense can cook up some mistakes from Trevor Lawrence. I wanted to pick this game because it's the international game, but I mostly wanted to do it because last time I was on, I realized I just buried the Jaguars and then looked up at Bucky, and I was like, oh, Bucky works with the Jaguars. So I just wanted to pick against them again and give him a chance to defend that team that hasn't won a game yet.
Okay, look, I'm going to defend the home team because the Jaguars make the UK their home. It is time for the Jaguars to get off the snide. They're going to end the 20-game losing streak right there in the comfy confines in London. Let's get it done. Jaguars. I'm going to say the Jaguars win. No Dolphins win this week.
Okay. Some of the facts do support. The fact that the Dolphins have scored 17 or fewer points in 4 of their 5 games this year. Perhaps that Jags defense can step up here. Let's move to the Chargers and Ravens, one of the real marquee matchups this week. Who you got, Greg?
Such a tough game to pick. I have the Chargers winning by a point. It's because these 2 quarterbacks are the 2 best closers in the league right now, Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. But I actually think the Chargers are more balanced. They can run the ball at the end of games when they need to. And the Ravens are, crazily enough, the pass-happy team that I think is more one-dimensional, more reliant on Lamar Jackson's arm and his legs, of course. So I give the Chargers another close late win. What do you got, Bucky?
Hey, look, I go with you. I'm right there. The Chargers, to me, are one of the teams that's really bubbling up as a Super Bowl contender. The balance is something that is certainly there. I worry about the Baltimore Ravens' inability to be able to run the ball without it being number 8. So, yeah, give me the Chargers in this. It's a toss-up when you talk about 1 point. Give me the Chargers.
There you go. All right, Chargers, the consensus here between Bucky and Greg. I know. We'll see. Rosie's Receipts next week on NFL Now. More of his game picks, NFL.com/game pick.
Yeah, I could get close probably. Jay Cutler. Kyle Orton. Rex Grossman.
3.
Mitch.
4.
Bet it.
What are you saying?
Let's bet it.
I just gave up.
Giving up. I got a meeting to go to, man. Can't rack the memory banks.
It is a tough spot, I guess, for some of these guys that, as Derek Carr has said, has grown to love John Gruden, but then also, clearly despise everything that was uncovered in those emails. And so as we welcome Bucky Brooks, Steve Weich back here on NFL Now to kind of discuss what's going on here, I think when you lose a head coach, there's an immediate thought of, okay, a vacuum of leadership now, Steve. But why is that not the case in Vegas?
Well, Mike Mayock, the general manager, came out and said it's not the case because, look, they still have 12 games, and they've got a lot of players, and they've got some head coaches former head coaches on that staff and whatnot. But let's not dismiss the fact John Gruden was an all-encompassing figure. He had tremendous power in that building. So now they're going to have to become a sum of their parts. And Mayock took a good step on Wednesday by coming out and being very frank and candid in the news conference, basically saying here's certain ways we're going to have to do things. Open door, open ears for the players who may have some issues. As we saw when Carl Nassib, the defensive end, said, I need a personal day off. They granted it to him, said, we're there to support him. But then football-wise, we've got to get the coaching staff together to do what they do, but also be there to support the players in every which way they possibly can. So, there's not necessarily a leadership void, but there is an adjustment because, Bucky, as we all know, John Gruden did everything. From the draft to personnel to who is up on Sundays and things like that. So there's going to be a little bit of shift. But again, they've got 2/3 of a season to work through all of those dynamics.
Yeah, it's a lot to work through when you think about I guess the carnage that was left in the wake of John Gruden's dismissal. But here's what I'll say when it comes to championship teams. Having been a part of Raider Nation since '98, I will say this. It's about trust and communication. And the coaches that are left there, they have to build the trust with the team through great communication, transparency, very direct, clear communication, so that the players know that the people that are in the foxhole with them are really with them. That said, this could be a blessing in disguise for the Raiders because the guy that they're elevating to the interim coach is Rich Bisaccia. Rich Bisaccia is a former special teams coach coordinator. The special teams coach is the guy who touches everybody in the program. Offensive players, defensive players, specialists. He works with the assistant coaches, delegating and managing practice time to get everybody on board. And so, because Mike Mayock and Rich Bisaccia have a fondness and an affinity for one another, this is an opportunity for Mike Mayock to put his stamp on this organization with his guy as the coach. And even though it's difficult to navigate these circumstances when everyone was tied centrally by John Gruden, this is an opportunity for the Raiders to go forward. This is a chance for them to pick themselves up with new leadership and find a way to get back on track. It won't be easy, but it's certainly a doable deal in Las Vegas.
It is time now to look at some next-gen stats powered by AWS. For that, we welcome in our pal Nick Shook is here with us. Your top 10 most surprising players this season. And Nick, you've got your top 10 out there at NFL.com/position rankings. Let's go through a few of them here. And let's start with tonight, Javon Hargrave. What has he done this season that has surprised so much?
I mean, we knew Javon Hargrave was a good player. He was a big free agent signing for the Eagles a couple of years ago. But what he's done statistically this season has been remarkable, and especially because the Eagles have had a tough time figuring out how to best use Fletcher Cox this year. But meanwhile, Javon Hargrave, he's thriving. He's a half sack away from matching his career high. He's already got a forced fumble in Week 3 against the Cowboys. And he also, by the way, has been getting after the quarterback better than any interior defensive lineman in the last 5 years. His 21% QB pressure rate is the best of any player in playing the interior defensive line in the next-gen stats era. So, you know, like I said, we kind of expected a little bit of it, but not to this degree, and he's a huge part. If they can get Fletcher Cox going, they'll have quite a formidable duo in there.
I'm not so sure that Jamar Chase's overall success should come as a huge surprise, given that he was, taken as a top 10 draft pick this year by the Cincinnati Bengals. Phenomenal talent, but maybe considering where he's come from in the preseason, there has been some surprise here. Nick, what's caught your eye?
Yeah, he's gone from a guy who was, a promising rookie with some issues in the preseason to a reliable weekly playmaker. He's grown from. He's caught at least one touchdown catch in each of his first 5 games this season. He's already tied the rookie record for most deep touchdown receptions in the next-gen stats era, and he still has 12 games left to play to try to shatter that. He's on pace to score a crazy 17 receiving touchdowns, which would be astronomical for a rookie. So he's buried those concerns that he carried into the regular season. He's quickly become their top receiver, and as Greg Rosenthal pointed out on Twitter today, it's quite a week for those who like the Jamar Chase pick over Penei Sewell in April's draft for the Bengals. So it's definitely paying off for the Bengals so far this season.
And for the Dallas Cowboys, I think it is a major surprise that Trayvon Diggs is leading the NFL with 6 interceptions right now through 5 games. What else, though, is really surprising statistically through next-gen stats with Diggs?
Well, it's actually his completion percentage allowed over expected, because it's the second lowest in the entire league at negative 18.1%, which basically tells you he's shutting down expected completions on a consistent basis. Now, you mentioned those interceptions. He's got 5 straight games with at least 1 interception, and his next-gen numbers are boosted by that total. His targeted expected points allowed, it's extremely low. It's the best in the league because each interception takes away an opponent's chance to score. So, we expected a jump in year 2, nothing like this.
And he gets his old college teammate this week at quarterback in Mac Jones, those two together in Tuscaloosa from 2017 to 2019. Let's move on to Cordero Patterson, who seems to have really found a home here in Atlanta and a niche in this Arthur Smith offense for the Falcons. What's surprising there?
Well, it's surprising that his hybrid abilities are being used to the full extent in Atlanta. You know, he came to the league as a receiver and a returner, and he was good at both. He became more of a returner in Chicago. In Atlanta, he's a running back, he's a pass catcher, he can do it all. He's the only player in the entire league with a touchdown reception at each level of the field. That's behind the line of scrimmage, short, intermediate, deep. He can do it from anywhere. His experience in a variety of roles is paying off. And most guys, when they hit 30, they might be starting their decline. It might end up being his peak in his career.